As a woman on the hunt to empower herself, I often look for ways to be seen, to be heard in a world that isn't always so friendly to women or anyone who is different from the latest beauty standards. Social media is everywhere. We are constantly bombarded with images and what lifestyle is best to be perfect. With social media, we're encouraged to share ourselves with the world. Honestly, the world is a rough place. We've been raised to be aware of the risk of violence, bullying, especially online. While it's an avenue to express ourselves and be seen, it's also an access point for people to be cruel. What's a concern troll? And how are they different from other bullies?
So to me, concern trolling is essentially harassment and stigmatizing ideas and statements that are veiled in concerns about health. And I really think concern trolling is facilitated by our culture. And I think for a lot of people who maybe don't identify as a fat phobe or a bigot or someone who promotes fat shaming or body shaming, they might reconcile their internalized fat phobic beliefs by engaging in concern trolling with people who are fat or higher weight.
Concern trolling is someone feigning concern in an attempt to undermine or distract or derail a conversation that has nothing to do with that concern. So, especially when it comes to people sharing their bodies, in the realm of body positivity or body neutrality, it shows up mainly as people pretending to be concerned for the health of those people in larger bodies or bodies that they deem to be larger than they want to accept.
Concern trolling is when people comment on, well, I guess specifically when people comment on your social media posts in a way to show that they're really, oh, they care about you and they want you to know they care about you. And so they're gonna like really insult you.
Concern trolling is somebody making a wild assumption based on what they see on a social media post. Concern trolling specifically, often the comment is about your health, your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise habits. Trolls are there to disrupt and make you feel bad. A concern troll is hiding that, making you feel bad in like assumptions about your health. They're going to give you diet tips, they're going to give you exercise tips, all of which are unwarranted and unwelcome.
And it's meant to just like recoil so that you cannot keep the dialogue moving.
To me, concern trolling is when you go onto someone's personal Instagram or, social media and you look for pictures where they're very clearly like feeling themselves, they've put effort into their appearance, they're feeling good about the look, and you just tear them down for absolutely no reason. So it's someone, I guess, that feels some kind of need to go and seek out other people's lives and cause a ruckus. But the gist of it is when someone tries to tell you about your health just by looking at your pictures. So it's a hard cancel for me. Gross.
Can I encounter concern troll and be resilient? What's the worst that could happen? If a stranger, friend, or family member voices the silent insecurities I hold in my mind, does that make it true? How do I set boundaries on the internet? Does anyone have the right to comment on my body because I'm in a public space? How do I make it stop?
I once had someone express to me after seeing me, I think either in a photo or a video, that they were worried that if I wasn't able to get a grip on my health, that I might not be successful in my work, that I might not be taken seriously as a therapist and an administrator and a professional.
Often we would have people using concern trolling rhetoric when, especially we would share information or encourage behaviors like intuitive eating or anything that's not necessarily exactly pro possible potential weight loss. And so people expressing concern of, well, if you just let people eat what they want, then all they'll eat is junk food or they'll gain weight and those kinds of things.
If someone is only engaging with me via concern troll, there's no other kind of engagement, which is typically the case. They don't tend to have a variety of different types of communication. They only do this one thing. And so I do not see that as like genuine human engagement. So I don't feel compelled to engage with it as I would with a person who's genuinely curious,
I just bring up the fact that you can't tell anything about my health based on my pictures, first of all. And secondly, I don't actually owe anybody good health.
No doctor will listen to me, so I finally got this new GI doctor that I had to fight for. And I told him that I haven't been eating because it causes pain, and I'm in pain when I eat. And he looked at me and had the audacity to say, maybe that's not such a bad thing.
So I'm holding a burger, and it's an advertisement for my friend's burger joint. I don't eat a lot of red meat because I have stomach issues and it's really hard to digest. So not like it matters, right? You can eat a burger if you want to. And he said, well, maybe if you didn't eat like this, you wouldn't have gotten colon cancer. Commented on this picture.
I was downstairs. There was a church meal. We're all getting our food. There was pizza. I put a slice of pizza on my plate. One of the women in the church comes over to me and looks at my pizza. Are you sure you can eat that? Are you allowed to eat that kind of food? Are you allowed to eat pizza? And I was like, yeah, I can eat whatever I want to eat. Thanks. She's so concerned. She doesn't want me to gain my weight back, right? So maybe she needs to come police the food that's on my plate. And I was like, yeah.
I just don't say anything to them because, like I said, they're just people that I think just want some attention from you. And we don't have time for that.
I definitely see that it's a lot of men who do this, but I think what's most painful is when it's other women. Mm-hmm. When another woman wants to tell me what I'm doing with my body, and it's we are both marginalized in this country. We are both oppressed. Why would we want to put that on each other? That's can we just have some sort of solidarity?
I have it for my being Asian American. I have it if I post anything with a little too much skin. I have it if I just put myself in a pretty dress. It doesn't matter.
I cried and felt awful, and sort of went through 16 iterations of feeling shame, and then eventually worked up the courage to come back to that person and express how hurtful that was, and to what I considered sort of educate them about how problematic that question was, and to reassure them that I'm doing very well professionally and I'm taken quite seriously, and that nothing about my body is relevant for that success.
One might just be completely ignoring it, not even deleting it, just leaving it there, just being you get to sit in the weird corner where no one is engaging with it, and we're all loving each other around you.
Coming from journalism, I know that people love to leave their thoughts in the comments section. So I was a journalist in a newsroom, national affairs correspondent for an ABC Univision joint venture called Fusion. I've done a lot of things, CNN, New York Post, yada, yada. So I was very used to just ignoring the comments, because especially when I would talk about culturally related stories, about, indigenous, Black, queer, et cetera type stuff, I just avoided the comments because you're never going to change some random person's mind on the internet. So as soon as I would get negative comments on my Instagram, it was block, 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 block. Delete the comment, block the person, because it's not my health is not up for debate. So I'm not going to even allow it to be a discussion. It's all about the block for me.
I like when you publicly post and shame. Because here's the thing, if you're gonna come into my DMs and be trashy, you better be proud of that behavior for everybody to see. Because Tresla's not afraid to tag your mother. She's not afraid to tag your place of work. And I think that's correct, because a troll is trying to hide in the shadows and be surreptitiously terrible.
So anytime I anticipate that I am making a post that would inspire some concern trolling, I will say I'm not looking for sympathy on this. I'm looking for solidarity.
I wonder if there's someone who looks and feels like I do that could benefit from my visibility. As a marginalized individual who's looked down on, is my joy an act of rebellion? Does my voice, experience, or story have worth on the internet? Is it worth the risk to share what I have to offer?
Tools are really important as we are working to make societal legislative changes, because right now, fat phobia is legal in 49 out of 50 states, possibly 48. I'm not sure, but definitely 48 or 49. That's a lot. It is still perfectly legal to discriminate against someone on the basis of weight without any legal recourse.
To project yourself as somebody that is having a great time, feeling proud of your body, existing in a happy and joyful space is extremely powerful. It was powerful when I found it in other people, and it's powerful to remind myself on those days when I'm not necessarily feeling it.
And I think part of that is just like totally getting rid of the whole, I'm going to be on a diet. I'm going to try to change. Like the only way people can find me acceptable is if I change my body. It's like, no, I'm going to, you know what? I am who I am.
I am a Black, Indigenous, queer femme, and I'm, fat plus size. Like I am a unicorn of a unicorn. Like there's not a lot of people like me. And I don't even say that out of ego. It's just the truth. So I have my whole life felt like I wasn't seen. The way that I started to be seen was both trying to connect with other folks who had the same either interests, passions, background, whether that's cultural or if they're queer too, or they're from my hometown or, whatever, and just kind of find people who have commonalities and then connect with those people. And then I would see myself seen in little bits in that way. And then more than that, I think it was then to put myself out there, because if I don't feel seen, there's someone else who doesn't feel seen. My way of leading my life inspires someone else to feel empowered.
I do that by reminding myself that this is the body I have, and it helps no one for me to hate it, and it helps everyone for me to celebrate it. So while there are days where that is incredibly hard, and contexts where it's incredibly hard, those are kind of the thoughts that encourage or inspire me to try to include myself in my own narrative, whether it's a photo narrative or whatever kind of way I'm showing up. I want to be there. I want to be there for me, and I want to be there for other people who look and feel like me.
Struggle for me for being seen is being able to speak up the way I know is right, the way I know that is right for me. And the more that I do, the more interesting things that keep happening in my life. And that has continued to empower me. The way other people see me makes me want to see myself that way too.
I've been able to surround myself with strong women, and they've empowered me to become the best version of myself every single day. And in return, that's what I strive to do for others.
I create burlesque shows, live shows, where I showcase all different kinds of bodies and identities. And I think anybody who's struggling to be seen, my best piece of advice would be to push through that discomfort, because what's on the other side of that is really rewarding, and it's freedom.
I get to meet new people, I get to network, and that is so reinforcing, and it really motivates me to continue doing the work that I do.
The one thing that's really inspired me is the change that we've been able to make happen. Social media has changed the dialogue in a way that nothing else ever has.
What things make you feel good? What things don't make you feel good? Spend more time focusing on building the stuff that makes you feel good, the people and the things and the media that make you feel seen, that make you feel heard and feel good. And then pull back, let go of the stuff that doesn't make you feel that way. I absolutely believe every single person deserves to be seen, deserves to have a peaceful relationship to their body, if not a positive relationship to their body. And I think, my life is kind of dedicated to helping people develop those tools.
If they can tell that you're feeling good about yourself, they want to feel good about themselves. They want to figure out what you've done. Be yourself, be unapologetically yourself, and be as seen as you want to be.
Be true to yourself. Don't worry so much about what other people think. Sometimes we're a little too worried about what other people think, and we shouldn't, because what really matters is what we think about ourselves. So we just gotta love ourselves more and forget about what other people have to say.
There's no right or wrong answer to how to deal with concern trolls. I guess in the end, building your space to be a safe space for you and for others is what's important. Knowing your boundaries, who you are, and what you want to say matters, but it needs to matter to you most. Your answer is the right answer, because at the end of the day, no one else lives in your body but you.